Okay, here I am in my studio, and that is the subject of today's work. Yes, I'm in my studio right now. As you can see, it's a beautiful day, beautiful spring day. We haven't had a nice day for a long time, so I can open up my studio. I haven't painted a big landscape for a while. Well, mostly because, well, it's hard to ship them. So I was inspired today when I went to Butte, Montana, and came up, yeah, I know it's not a new idea, but so I took these three 18 or 24 by 18 canvas panels. I taped them together, brought out the big easel right here, and now that the weather's nice, I'm gonna try this. I think it'll be fun because then I can put them apart. People have more options of how they want to hang them, and it'll just be fun to do something big again. So anyway, I don't know if I'm going to record the whole thing, maybe bits and pieces. That's what I'm up to. Okay, so step one, I did my sky, and do you want to know how I did that? I'll show you a little bit how I did that. So I only used 3 colors. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, all right. So these are oils. Cerulean blue, that's that. Ultramarine blue and titanium white. I used a lot of Liquitex, so it'll dry, but I also put on a like a linseed oil coating on the bottom so that I could get the paint to spread pretty good. It's sort of hard to see this because of the light makes the glare. But anyway, my idea behind this is I'm going to have big spring sky with lots of clouds. You can see the clouds starting to form, but I'll work on this in different layers. Yeah, it was just a really cool day. I don't know if you were out today, but the sky was filled with pretty cool clouds. I got a ways to go, but I can't really do too much right now. I got to just let this dry. So that's kind of like step one of painting, after it took me a while to get it all put together. Okay, this is the landscape. I think I started a progression showing you the different steps. This is my second phase. You know what, artists? If you don't feel like painting, just show up. And you'll be surprised what happens. I did not feel like painting tonight, but I said, okay, it's 7 o'clock. Time for me to go paint. And I'm really glad I came out. So here is my landscape. This is a pretty big one. You can't really tell too much here around. There. Now I did the mountains in all palette knife, so it's kind of fun now. It's coming together. Now I'm kind of getting back into the groove of doing my landscapes. So this is I should really get a measurement, but I think it's, well, I'm going to stop and get a measurement. Okay, so this is the completion of the second day of painting. Now I got to stop. I'm going to have to wait a couple days, let this dry pretty good, and keep working on it. Sometimes people like to see the paint that we're using. And there's, I did add another blue, this dark blue, or kind of a, I don't know how to describe it. It's phthalo blue. Anyway, that, and the original blue that I started using is ultramarine, and then I have some violet, purple. I forget the real name. So I'm not using too many colors in here, but I'm going to keep changing it up, and I'm pretty sure eventually I'm going to do a whole lot more with that sky. Maybe not, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it happens. Now it's starting to get a life of its own. I don't really have a lot of control over this. I just am the instrument that moves the brush and the paint around. Okay, I really wanted to keep going with this tonight. This is my third session here with the oils on this big landscape. And it's starting to come together, and I really wanted to keep going, but I didn't. Okay, so I'm going to show you my palette of colors and the tools that I used. So I actually used a couple of different palette knives, and then I just used this brush, and you can see I got a lot of greens and a little bit of more purple. I wanted to do a lot more purple in here tonight, so I added this color, purple, and you see that, well, you see it in here. I actually rubbed a lot of it off because I wasn't completely satisfied with what I was doing. And then the other colors that I used, teal or verde phthalo green. That's that kind of bluish green. And then I also used some sap green. Not really very much white. And that's, of course, what you see down here in the foreground area, which is coming to shape. But it's pretty fun doing these landscapes. You can almost start to just imagine the wildflowers coming up. They're going to come up tomorrow. Anyway, so there we have it. Here's a little bit of a close-up. You can see I use a lot of paint here on these mountains, and not so much here in the foreground, because I'm going to, that's kind of like just a background, underlying colors. There you can see my where my two canvases meet, and I got to make sure that I have those open so when I take them apart I'm not going to ruin any of the paint. But anyway, there is session 3, and yeah, it's pretty fun. Coming along. Keep watching if you're enjoying this progression. Okay, continuing on with my progression of the Highland Mountains and oil painting. These are the tools I used. Not too many, actually. I've already cleaned them because I forgot I was doing this. So anyway, I think this session marks my 3rd, but really my 4th. So I'm feeling okay about this. Actually pretty excited. I love doing these impressionistic landscapes. And of course this scene here is one I looked upon for 15 years. I lived way up opposite the Highland Mountains up in Walkerville, Montana, which is above Butte. So that's why I was so drawn to paint these. And here I'm going to show you up close. I think I've got the sky pretty much how I want it. This is like a spring. This was the spring. It is the spring right now. This is May 18th. I'm about to wrap this painting up. I started it maybe a week or 10 days ago. And these are the Highland Mountains south of Butte, in case you were wondering where I got my inspiration. You probably recognize some of them. Now, sometimes they call them Big Red because in the summertime, when the sun is setting, that's off to the west, that can just glow. I mean, literally glow bright red. So here I'll step back And there you can see the overall. You can see my style is really pretty impressionistic. If you look up close, they don't really look like anything but globs of color. And that's what I like, because I like people to be able to imagine their own pictures within a painting. And then as I was doing this one, because I have it in the 3 panels, I actually really thought about each panel as an individual painting. So that was kind of a new thing for me. I haven't ever done this in 3 panels, but I think it'll look kind of nice, each framed individually with a little bit of space in between. So there you have my impressionistic painting of the Highland Mountains, Butte, Montana. Tell me what you think in the comments, and I'll be putting this on my main website. So sometimes people like to order prints of these, or the whole original will be available for sale. However, it's going to have to dry for about 3 or 4 months before I can actually put a finished coat on it. So there we have it. Appreciate you watching the progression. I don't usually do this because it's kind of hard to do technical things while you're painting, because it's 2 different parts of the brain. So anyway, I appreciate you watching, and let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks a lot. Cheryl Nancy Ann Gordon, by the way.